Are we alive? I think we're alive.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Hi everyone. Welcome back
Hi,
to
welcome to
a.
MomoTalk, the show where I talk to Momo. Oh,
Yeah.
no, you're supposed to get fucking mad.
Oh, my fault. Anyway,
You ruined the bit.
my fault.
So what are
Anyway,
what?
yeah, this is the Momo Talk where Lanny VA talks to Nanodyne. Because it's totally not named after something else. Anyway, today we
It's
got
not.
a little handful of topics. We're going to be talking a little bit about, let's say, Sonic Crossworlds. That game is looking pretty good. We're going to be talking about some random anime tourist debates on Twitter. And we're just going to be talking about just kind of some general stuff going on with like the entertainment industry. The fucking gears. What does that mean?
Dude, I don't know. Are the gears guilty, perhaps?
Are they guilty? I was watching a Guilty Gear Strive tier
This
list
could be
before I
the-
started streaming.
No way.
Yeah.
Dude, you see that tier list that Leffen made for like I don't know if it was the most recent patch or the patch before most recent, where he was he had like pot and shit as like contender for
No,
one.
dude, Pot is stupid right now, and you know the reason why? It's because they giga buffed his kid, but they removed his Karas. But then everyone was mad that they couldn't do Karas anymore, so they gave him back his Karas and all the buffs they gave him. This
the
motherfucker.
Extreme Gears and Crossworlds.
Yeah, the Extreme Gears are in Sonic Crossworlds. I guess since we're talking about games, that's the first thing that I will bring up.
Yeah, because this one was your idea. Where'd you want to go with this?
Yeah, so personally, I just wanted to talk about how I'm feeling about the game right now. I don't know if you've seen any. Have you seen any like footage or anything like that?
Yeah, I've seen. I saw the initial trailer. I've seen people posting clips from the open testing that they had, but not too much. Probably not as much as you have.
Okay, I've seen a little bit more. So some general thoughts that I had on the game. It looks very pretty. It has some really fucking good ideas. It's literally it's like they're trying to have a combination of what is it? Sonic and All-Stars Racing transformed, along with a little bit of Sonic Riders in there. And I think that like conceptually that's super cool. People in the beta were a little how do I want to say it? They're a little disappointed that there was no Extreme Gears, but I get it because since they're testing the balance of the game right now, I think if Extreme Gears were in the game, everyone would just be playing Gears. No one would be playing the cars.
Yeah, I initially thought that the gears were just going to be basically functioning gameplay-wise the same as the regular vehicles, but considering the fact that they weren't like included as like, you know, kind of like a palette swap like I expected, they're probably going to actually still function with the air mechanics and everything, I would assume.
No, I think it's going to be really sick. But from what I've seen, I mean, it looks like Sonic and All-Stars Racing transform into Team Sonic Racing. I think just generally speaking, the items, they look fucking busted. Like, I've seen so many clips, and it's like Mario Kart OE, but on steroids. Of just
What do they
shit.
have?
Well, they have like their own version of a blue shell. They have like a teleport kind of thing where you go in this portal and then you just land on another player and you squish them. They have like the drill wisp, which is like the bullet bill.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't see like a whole lot of items, but there's just a lot of shit going around with the item balance, where it's just like there is so much going on, and the game is like it's very F-Zero-esque in the sense that all of the tracks aren't very wide, so everyone's just constantly bumping into each other, and it's fucking chaos.
Yeah, I always feel like in like the kart racer genre, which is predominantly dominated by Mario Kart, like there's not a lot of people who are sort of willing to step outside of that idea.
Yeah.
Because I think this was something you brought up as well, like the Mario Kart comparison. Because the thing that I always liked about the Sonic racing games that had been made was, Riders was very unique mechanically in terms of how you actually like went about playing the game with the air mechanics and stuff and rewarding you for tricks
Right.
In a more in-depth way. But then the Sega All-Stars games went more traditional kart racer, but they still focused on making it more skill based.
Yeah,
But this one seems to be a bit more party forward.
yeah, it's a little bit more of a party game from what I'm seeing, which is not a bad thing. I mean, I don't really care about playing a game competitive or a racing game competitively. I was gonna say though, the big thing that I don't like about this game is the trick system. And the reason why, it's not because the tricks are like super fast or anything like that. That's not the problem. That's actually a gadget that you can equip that makes tricks go extremely fast. But the problem I have with them are the fact that the tricks are not like very skill based. You just kind of mash directions, and no matter if you land the trick, like you know how in All Stars Racing where you had to actually land your trick properly in order to actually get the reward from it, or otherwise you would just slow down because you fucked up. That is exactly how this game works, except you do the tricks, but there's no real penalty. My friend told me that there is a penalty for not... Well, how do I want to say it? If you mistime your tricks, you'll still get the boost. You just won't get like the full boost that you could have gotten. But I'm like, I don't know. I don't think that's enough. Like you're still getting rewarded for not for fucking up. Basically.
I wouldn't say I enjoy that balancing wise, because you definitely want to like have like a risk versus reward system, right? That's why I brought up Riders, because I think it's like the best example of that.
Right.
You wanna have like a trick system where you're pushed to maximize your tricks before you land, but if you're overzealous, you know, like you
get greedy. You get greedy and stupid. You get penalized.
Where's my risk reward in my fucking racing game for children?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I want to race as Sonic the Hedgehog and get my fucking shit kicked in. No, I'm kidding.
Who are you picking as your racer, though? That's the real question.
Who
Who's
am
your
I
main?
picking? Okay, so in every fucking Sonic All-Stars, any Sonic racing game, I just play Sonic. I love Sonic so much.
Oh, yeah. I always pick Shadow.
Dude, the amount of people just playing Sonic and Shadow in the beta was so funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's just how it is, you know? Probably a good amount of kids on there, too.
Yeah, after, like, coming out
okay, we broke Pat's rule. We mentioned children. Because he told us not to do that today. But I think, you know, they're the most popular characters. But I was really surprised that, like, everybody was fucking picking them.
It was
like,
fucking
what?
everybody. And I'm like, oh.
No love for the fucking Babylon Rogues? No love for fucking, like, Tails or
Well,
Knuckles?
I don't think any of the Babylon Rogues are in the game right now. I think the only characters that were in the game were Sonic, Tails, Amy. I think Cream was in the game. Eggman.
They had Cream in the first group of characters.
Yeah, Cream was in there. Zaz was in there. Not Zavok, but Zaz was in there.
No fucking way. Dude, why do they keep putting the Deadly Six in
I don't
every
know.
fucking
Okay, so apparently my friend, he's a Deadly Six defender now because he's like, well, in the IDW comics, they actually made them good. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't care.
Too bad they're only good in a bad comic series. Unfortunate. Fucking Archie supremacy, by the way.
The IDW comics are cute, but like, I don't care.
They're fine. I'm just
they
biased.
Can be good. They can be good. Like, they can be good in the comics. That's fine. But like,
Yeah.
as far as the games don't know what the Deadly Six more like balls.
That's what I'm
True.
saying. More like balls. Zaz literally rolls around on a big ball in the game he's from.
Yeah, balls.
Now, dude, I think including the Deadly Six in the spin-offs is like the Sonic franchise version of like
The fucking Koopalings.
making Dry Bones and King Boo playable in Mario Party.
Well, okay, but here's the thing: Dry Bones and King Boo, I love them. The Deadly Six are the equivalent of like the Koopalings.
No,
They're more.
No,
like
those
the
guys are
Koopalings
real.
to me.
They actually are the Koopalings. You're right. That's a way better comparison.
They
Because
just
Zaz is literally, or
But
not
the thing
Zaz,
is they
Zavok
don't-
is literally a Bowser
the
ripoff.
thing. All they do is they put in Zavok and like maybe Zaz. They don't do anything else with the other ones.
Yeah,
And I'm
because the
like,
rest of them suck
put in
ass.
Xena. She's fucking hot. At least she's hot.
She is. She's very doable. But the problem is that they're besides Zaz and Zavok, they're all fucking boring. Well, they're all boring to be honest. But it's like you got emo guy, Bowser guy, crazy guy,
Old
the
man.
girl one, fat guy,
An old man.
and then old man. Yeah. It's like, God, dude, don't get me started about Lost World. 'Cause
Dude,
I hate
I'm not
potential
getting
of
into
that
that
game.
discussion. Oh my fucking god, I hate Lost World. I
Today
remember when
in
I got
this
I got that
video
game. I got that game on Steam for like $7. $7. I beat majority of the game. I got to like the Sky World, and then I
Yeah.
refunded the game. This
Oh,
shit sucks.
W.
This shit is so fucking boring after like the first world. It's so ass.
Dude, you know Joey? That's like his favorite Sonic game.
What?
He really doesn't play Sonic like
Is
that.
he a Super
so
Mario
he's like,
Galaxy fan?
I mean, he's just a Nintendo fan,
That
like
makes sense,
primarily.
then. That makes sense.
So he's
then.
like, yeah, they made Sonic like a Mario. I like that. That's fun.
Well, I don't like it. None of us like it. I hate it. Dude, Lost World Defenders get on my nerves. Like, it's not that bad. I don't care if it's not
I mean,
that
I think
bad.
I think the gameplay is like pretty chill and fun, but everything surrounding it is dog shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and we're getting into a completely different discussion. I thought the character roster was whatever. Aside from Sonic, I think I want to try Sage because I love Sage. I think she's a cool addition.
I didn't even know they added her.
Yeah, she is a playable character. They fucking
what's
have
up.
the first Titan. I think it's like Giganta or Gigant, something like that. He is a car. He's a car.
That's fucking awesome.
the Giganta car.
I wonder if
Giganta car.
I wonder if they'll be adding like any kind of like surprise characters. I know people have been
Yes.
talking about characters they want, and people have been
Yes,
asking
there
for like IDW
is-
characters.
And I believe in the Steam review it says Sonic and other Sega characters, I believe.
And other Sega characters? We're getting crossover?
I think we might be getting some crossover characters here and there.
Oh, dude, I would be so excited.
Yeah.
Can we get Miku?
Dude, Nico would be so fucking fun.
Can we get Miku? Can we get Knights? At least let us get Knights, bro.
I
He
was
used to
so
be in all the
disappointed with
Sonic
Knights
stuff.
and All-Stars Racing Transform when I found out Knights was a car, and I was like, dude, this sucks.
Yeah, that shit is dumb. But I mean, Sega hates Knights now, so I'm not
Yeah.
surprised by anything they do.
But yeah, I do think this game is kind of playing it safe to a degree because I think ever since, I mean, Riders was never a strong, it was never like a strong seller for like the Sonic franchise. And I think most people at the time when Riders was like still a thing, most people who just picked up and played it didn't really like it. But the people who actually stuck with it, they're like, dude, this shit is fucking baller. But I think it just doesn't have enough. I think Sega's right now, they're in that weird phase of trying to bring Sonic back to just being Sonic, but they're also still trying to get in as many like general audience people as they can. And I think that's like, I still get that feeling from Crossworlds where I'm like, they're steering in the right direction, but this still feels very safe.
I mean, I guess in the context of a racer, what would you do that's like a less safe move that you think is a good idea? Do you have an example?
That's hard to say because fucking Mario Kart, like everyone wants to be Mario Kart, and I think it's very hard not to be Mario Kart. Unless you're like Need for Speed or some shit, it's very hard to not, or like Forza, it's very hard to not just be Mario Kart.
Right.
It's like even Crash Team Racing, as good as it is, it's still, you know, it's still a Mario Kart, it's rooted game. I think the big thing you can do is just, I mean, I think Riders is the perfect, like, Sonic version of a racing game.
I would agree.
It's just conceptually, it's just very cool. Like you have these sick ass hoverboards doing these sick tricks, as this very like Jet Set Radio inspired.
Yeah, right. Like
art
the
style.
future tech kind of style,
Right.
cyberpunk-esque.
And I
It's
think
like-
that's just like super cool, and I wish it was actually successful and stuck around.
Yeah, me too. It's like it's definitely my favorite series of racers, period, because I play the tournament edition mod semi-frequently. And it's, I don't know, I think what happened was the second you add a mechanic to a racing game where you have to manage your fuel, I think people got lost.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I think that's what the next Mario Kart might be doing.
No way. Dude, and then they're going to do it, and then everybody's going to be like, this is so innovative.
I know, the fucking hypocrisy. Wrong place, wrong time. This sucks.
Me when the popular thing does something that was always good, but it's only good now because the popular thing did it.
Literally.
Dude, I wish it was still, like, I wish it was not cringe for Sonic and Mario fans to be beefing in modern year, but it's totally
so
cringe to do
weird.
that.
I don't know why they're doing that. They're just beefing.
Dude.
I'm like, dude, you guys are doing complete. The one thing I will beef on, the one thing I think the Mario fans have is the fact that Sonic the Hedgehog is very sterile right now. Like that motherfucker. Okay, I used to be one of those people that was like, why are we bitching about Sonic's quills? But the more I look at the new Sonic model, I'm like, dude, he's so fucking ugly.
Oh, trust me, bro. I could write a manifesto
He
on
has
how much
no
I.
sauce.
It extends. It extends past him too. I hate all of the
I
current
do.
models
You know
of
who I hate the
characters.
most? I hate Knuckles. He's such a
Yeah,
nothing
that is
character
true.
right now.
He's got like a tiny little head. His head is like really tiny compared to his body. It looks like, and his dreads are not long enough.
And then like you look at some of the renders and he just looks weird. I'm like, why?
Yeah, he does look hella weird. That's true.
Like,
Dude,
all the modern renders just look weird, and that's like.
I think the game's gonna be good though.
It's gonna be good.
I'm
I'm
excited for when it drops. We for sure have to get on that.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully it has crossplay. That is the one thing I hope it has crossplay, because I don't think it's gonna have enough like long-term players to not justify having crossplay.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, racing or All-Star Racer Transformed had crossplay, I believe, between PC and console.
It did, because crossplay was a very, 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 very recent thing. To my knowledge, I think you can only play PC players. In all fairness, I've only played that game a handful of times on PC, but excuse me. It just slips out. It just slips out.
You're so elegant.
I know.
Oh my god.
But
yeah, I guess that's a good point. Crossplay is like, I keep forgetting how modern of a feature it really is.
Like, it wasn't until like Minecraft Bedrock came around where crossplay was like normalized.
That's true, actually. Yeah, one of the only good things Microsoft has done with that game. Yeah, Beef knows this guy's a real Sonic racer.
We try playing with Bethel. Okay, well, I mean the beta. I'm not talking about the beta. I mean, I hope the full game is actually crossplay. Like, we don't know. I think they may just be like, I don't know. They may have multiple betas because we still don't know when the actual game is going to release.
Actually, I think Beef was responding to Racing Transform.
Oh, Racing Transform? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he is actually like a Transformed gamer. I know he was gonna say for a while.
I was on my like Sonic Racing Transform Mark II at some point. And I was like, that game is just too old to have crossplay right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they're interested in retroactively adding it.
Do we? You mentioned how they're trying to like establish general appeal. Before we like get on a complete Spurgic rant about Sonic stuff for the rest of the stream, do we want to pivot to the modern audiences in quote?
Yeah, I was actually going to segue into that about the whole trying to appeal to general audiences thing that a lot of companies are trying to do with their IPs and franchises.
Yeah, because this was one of the ones that I brought to the table today, and I think what made me think of it initially was hello,
Hi, Vision.
Welcome to stream. Welcome.
Hi, Vision.
I like what Vision. Brought me to this, dude? I like Vision more. Don't even get me started on this. I had him first. All right. So what brought me to this was I saw a lot of people basically talking about how a lot of companies now will put out these polls to their player base about what do you know when they're big in their game. Dude, he actually made me Freud the fuck out on that one. I'm big enough to handle you both. You're a freak. Actual fucking degenerate behavior.
Freaky cat.
You're 6 inches deep in Nanodyne. Lanny BA is 6 inches deep in you. Are you moving forward or backward? Big around. Okay, fuck. My train of thought, choo-choo, it's finally leaving the station. So these companies put out these polls when they're like their games are like pre-release or like beta, and they'll put out play testing and go, what did you think? What can we do? And one of the things that people will always talk about is like what type of things they want represented in the game, right? And how to make an appeal to modern audiences. And that's such a vague statement that gets thrown around a lot when these devs talk about like what their goals are. Like we were talking about Guilty Gear. That's kind of an example where one of the big goals of Strive compared to previous Gears was to bring it to this quote theoretical modern audience.
Right. Like,
and I think that term is kind of what gets me, because who is the modern audience in question? Like what type of people are we talking about that they want to appeal to? Because I don't know if it's as simple as just they want to appeal to everybody necessarily.
It's a broad topic. It really depends on what you're trying to get people into. So let's take Gear, for example. If we're talking about Guilty Gear Strive, the game is simplified to shit. And I don't think that's inherently a bad thing. I don't think being a simple game is a bad thing. I love Grand Blue Rising.
Yeah.
That is a great fighting game, in my opinion. It's very fun.
Game.
But I think in the case of Gear, they're trying to appeal to a more casual audience. Like, they want both the hardcore players and they want new players, like new fighting game players, to play their game. Because, you know, it's a common thing. It's a common trend in fighting games back then and even now that people are like, you know, it's too hard. I can't memorize all these motion inputs. I don't know how to do my combo, you know, that kind of stuff. And the problem is, no matter how much you try and simplify fighting games, people are still going to complain. And the problem with that is then you start getting this weird amalgamation of a game where the devs are trying to they're trying to cater to the casual side, but they're also trying to cater to like the hardcore competitive side. So you get a game like Strive where it's like they don't know what the fuck to do with the game. Like, it's very aimless right now because like seasons 1 through 4, it was seasons 1 and 2, you know, they're very consistent with each other. Season 3, they tried, you know, messing with some system mechanics, and now season 4, they're trying to mess with the character balance, and it's like there's no real consistency with where they want to take the game. They're just kind of throwing darts at a wall, it feels like, and just kind of hoping something lands. Like, they have all these good ideas, but the execution is just really bad. Because what they're trying to do, like, one of the things that they were trying to do is that they were trying to they were trying to tone back, like, they were trying to increase the amount of interactions in the game, right? They were basically saying, you know, people are dying way too fast in this game. Like, the game's too fucking polarizing to play on defense or if you get hit. Well, what they intended to do was they intended to raise defense across the board and lower damage across the board. But what ended up happening, you get characters like Nago who just do 50% of your health off one mistake now. You get fucking Ramlethal, which conceptually great ideas. I like that her swords are a resource, but by the time she gets rid of both of her swords, she has 50 meters, so she can just reset and it doesn't matter. Like, they have good ideas, but they do a lot of stupid shit, and by the time they actually fix those good ideas, they start doing more dumb ideas. And I'm like, all right, we got.
I'm glad that my suspicion that modern audiences is like corporate speak for casuals is not completely unfounded. Then,
no,
because to speak from my own experience, also a fighting game, since that's a field we've both put too many hours into. Dragon Ball FighterZ was my big experience with that, where like for literally 2 seasons straight, about 2 to 3 years of content, Bandai kept deciding they wanted to take the game more and more in like a party game, like full-on tag fighter Marvel-esque direction, where it used to be a tag game that had a lot more structure to it, a lot more rules in terms of like the outline for what your goal is in terms of how you want to play the game and how you want to win. Now it's become, you know, you run around, you throw fucking massive buttons everywhere, and you get way more hits through neutral as opposed to mix up.
Yeah.
And they kind of changed the core identity of the game because they wanted it to be easier to play for like the average Dragon Ball Z fan, as opposed to like the average fighting gamer.
Which is bizarre, by the way, because Fighters, like, as old as Fighters is, that shit has a dedicated player base. Like, it's getting more average players than like most big fighting games. So it's just
and on top of that, it was already easy. Like, are y'all just fucking bad? Like, did it need to be an easier game for you?
And that's kind of the problem I have with it, where it's like, okay, now we're just making the game easy, but conceptually the game is just always going to be harder for most players. I think there's a certain point where it's like, okay, now like what are we doing? Like, we're stripping the game of a lot of shit.
Yeah.
For the sake of players remembering their buttons. But they're going to remember their buttons, but they're not going to know how to actually use those buttons. So then they're going to lose and complain the game is still too hard. And it's like, well...
I guess in a greater sense, like, that's kind of the problem with, like, the appeal to modern audiences in general, right? It's, I feel like we see a lot of examples where trying to bring in a new player base to widen the appeal, and particularly bring in like new fans who are kind of not aware of the IP that you're working with. You got to be careful that you don't accidentally alienate the original people that you pulled in from the beginning.
Yes.
Because there was also on the Musk app this week, we had people talking about dude, I'm so sorry, chat. Burps and farts are always gonna be funny, dude. I can't fucking help it. What's his name? Kodaka, the new game being produced by him and all the Danganronpa guys.
Oh yeah.
That's basically Danganronpa, but it's an SRPG.
Yeah.
It's called like Last Defense Academy or whatever. Yeah. And I don't even fucking like Danganronpa. I haven't like played any of them beyond like the first like opening 2 hours of the first one because those games are shit.
Danganronpa is a guilty pleasure of mine.
That's fair. Everybody's got one. I think that those games are filled with like tropey ass tropes.
No,
like,
for sure. Like they are the trope.
They embrace that shit, cringe and all, which I think is cool. Because they came from a much more unironic time.
Right.
In the fandom where like that shit was like still seen as more normal, but now that kind of Kodaka like very memey, like half parodic cringe style is not seen as that funny anymore by the Twitter heads, I guess.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is because, I mean, the platform has just kind of changed over time. It just, generally speaking, I don't mean to be like, oh, well, people nowadays are too soft, or people nowadays is that and the third, but there's some merit to it. There's definitely merit to it where people see this and like, ew, that's so cringe, or ew, like, why is this character bad? And I'm like, dude, have a little bit of fun. Like, these are the same people that like to parade having joy and whimsy, but the moment someone does something a little bit cringe to them, it's
the second you actually enjoy some shit, they're ready to like fan cop the fuck out of you.
Right.
I think because the character everybody was upset over was literally the coolest character I've ever fucking seen in a game in a long time.
What's her name?
She's literally just a hardcore Eroguro fan who fucking sits in a room playing visual novels all day.
What's her name?
And she's literally me.
I sent you the
yeah, the initial tweet. You might want to put it on screen perhaps so that people can see.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah, but essentially, one individual who made like the initial tweet and then other people who agreed with them kind of started complaining about the fact that, oh, you have this character who's in high school and she likes gore and porn games and shit. And like, okay, who cares? Like, dude, high schoolers are some of the most goonerific people like you'll ever meet. No, if you were not horny as fuck in high school, then you probably didn't have a very normal or fun high school experience.
Maybe.
Like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's literally not. I mean, I don't even care about like the like real life parallels or whatever. I just think like characters just cannot exist in this fashion anymore. Like, you get people that like her likes her gore, misery, porn, and adult games. Why does she do that? And I'm like, well, look at her fucking design. Like, it's intentional for her to just be this fucking amalgamation of like the cringe. I don't even like to use the word cringe, but like that 2011 like e-girl stereotype, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, even beyond that, like when the character has weird cringe interests in the weird cringe anime game, on goodness, it's like it's like I was talking about, like that's the Kodaka style to a degree, like the cringe, semi self-aware, like sort of pseudo parody style. Like it's not just the example you gave. She's also like a direct parody of like fucking schizophrenic weirdos who sit in their room reading visual novels all day. And I think that's fucking funny because I am one of those.
I am one of them.
Yeah,
me and my parasocial relationship.
That's what I'm saying. I love being parasocial with my favorite characters. They are my friends. They live in my computer.
Just to DR, they made the fat guy. They made the fat guy the ultimate fanfic, right? True.
Yeah, they had like the little fat neckbeard chud guy who spends his time writing fanfic.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Danganronpa is a parody in itself. Like, the characters are made to be stereotypes. Like, they're not made to be taken like all that seriously. He has a name. I actually forgot his name. I actually forgot his name.
Yeah, dude, I know Vision and I
Hifumi,
always.
that's his
Oh,
name.
Hifumi. Yeah, me and Kaja always used to refer to him as our one friend that we had from our high school days, who we were not actually a fan of.
Fan of
Yeah,
books?
fake fan. I don't think any of
Caught.
us are fans.
Caught.
Well, Momo's a fan.
I am. I
should
love
say.
Danganronpa.
Oh yeah, I guess it may be a bad time to ask while we're on stream, but we've already name doxed each other multiple times, so I guess it doesn't matter, right? Because we're just shooting the shit.
Oh, I guess not. Prefer to be called
Yeah.
Lena.
guys, my real name is Annie. That almost sounds like Lanny. That's crazy, right, guys?
I was gonna say it's Momo's still another screen name, so I don't care.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, people look at Danganronpa, they're like, oh my god, it's cringe. And I'm like, yeah, it is cringe, but it's fun. Like, I have a good time with it. I don't take it that seriously. Like, I take it seriously because there actually is stakes on the line in those games, but it's not to a point where I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna defend it and be like, oh, the integrity of Danganronpa. Like, I don't give a shit. It's fucking killing it.
Does Danganronpa even have integrity?
No,
Like
it
that.
doesn't.
I feel like they've always been aware that they're a big fucking meme show.
Yeah.
But I guess that is part of the appeal. That's why you call it a guilty pleasure, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's kind of an obsession with ironic enjoyment of things now, where it's like you can't just
enjoy
genuinely
something
be
anymore.
like, oh, this character likes to consume erotic content and they're a gooner and that's the bit. Like that's just actually kind of
Prowl?
entertaining to me.
The
second
Nagita
you're-
got true.
The second you're unironic about it, it suddenly like becomes some sort of moral quandary, like we were talking about last week, where it's like people have to be a fan cop and virtue signal.
Right.
I'm gonna try and use that term more instead of using woke, because putting woke in the last video title unironically kind of made me feel like it's already the downfall of my career.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even like using the word woke. I use it as a joke, but I think the term is fucking stupid. It doesn't even... The term has lost all of its original meaning. Like, it's not even the same word anymore.
Oh, no, definitely. I view it the same as like when people call somebody a Nazi on the internet. Like 9 times out of 10, you're using that word just because you can't think of a better, more accurate word.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like... I don't know. What was I gonna say? There was something else that related to that conversation. I completely...
The whole
translated
modern
station.
audiences idea?
No, not that. It was something about like fan copying. There's so many people who they're not even like a fan of the media. They're just fan of the aesthetic. You know what I mean? Like you have so many people who are just like a fan of this character, but they like to pretend that...
I like to call them LARPers.
Yeah, they're basically LARPing. They're just like, yo, I love this character. I love this game. I love everything about it. I won't actually play it, but I'm gonna police people in the actual fandom.
Yeah, right? Like, trust me, I could go on for hours upon hours about that shit as an avid VN reader, because holy shit, people on... it's mostly on TikTok, but even on Twitter as well. People love to fucking LARP. You better... If you're watching this and you are one of those people on TikTok who posts your screen caps of Sayano Uta and Totono and Tsubahibi, and you act like you're a fan and you're like, ooh, I buy all the figures and I love the characters, but I have to save them from the goon lords.
I
will
know.
kill you. You will end up in a fucking ditch 6 feet under somewhere under a bridge. You do not appreciate the rape games like I appreciate them. You will never appreciate them the way that I do. I will protect them from you. Okay, that's all I got.
Let's not use that word.
No way fucking
Yeah,
the grape emoji word is not
it's
not
like-
valid on Twitch either.
It's not valid on YouTube either.
Are we serious, dude? Oh my god. But I can't. I'm about to get political about our
Shut
president
up.
and, how,
No.
and about how everything is supposed to be free speech
No.
now, but it's not. It's not free speech at all. I'm so fucking over this shit. I'm so mad, bro.
Hands up.
Hands up.
No, but I was gonna say this.
Moving on, I guess.
This kind of appeals to anime, and this is also going to kind of segue into our next topic as well. But this also appeals to anime as well, where you have if you know about the whole new gen debate going on with like newer anime fans and like specifically like the shonen side. of how like there's so many like newer anime fans who are like, oh, you're it's kind of like the waifu discussion we talked about in the last episode, if you remember, about people who were like dogging on waifus and shit. I think this kind of this segues into that, because I'm like, there are so many people who like very weird anime, but then they complain about like the weird shit going on in the anime, or like they see like common anime tropes and they start like bitching about it while also still consuming the content. And I'm like, okay, do you not know who the target audience is? Like, this is kind of what I was talking about, where people they just like the aesthetic and then they actually engage with it and they're like, I don't like this and I don't like this, and I'm like, this is what most people in the medium enjoy. Like, if you don't like it, then stop engaging with it.
No, seriously, just like engage with your interest earnestly and just be willing to have some opinions regardless of what people say.
Yeah,
like go to my fucking My Anime List profile, bro. I gave Gurren Lagann like a 3 and I gave Kodomo no Jikan a 7.
Yeah, and like, just own your shit, just own your opinion. Like, who cares? I don't. Like, you can, there's like nuance to it. Like, you can enjoy something and be critical of it, but I think there's a point like where you're being critical, and then there's the next side where you just don't enjoy it, but you're trying to force yourself to like it because it's like the new cool thing to do, or you just like the aesthetics. And it's like,
God, I've never even really thought about that. Do you think people really, I guess they have to be doing that, right? With the way they behave?
Yes.
Like they force themselves to try and like the thing they don't even really like so they can fit in with their friends.
I say it about Genshin fans all the fucking time. They bitch about their dog shit game, but they keep fucking playing it.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's like sunk cost fallacy. They're like 14 buying crystals with their mom's credit card.
I guess,
so
but I mean,
I don't know.
It was so easy for
maybe?
me to drop it. I was like, dude, if I don't fucking like this game. I don't like the direction it's going. This shit sucks. I'm gonna stop playing it. And I stopped playing it.
Yeah, Vision, you're literally the example. Hey, I hate League of Legends.
Vision is the example, but Vision doesn't like bitch about anything. Like, he just like, yeah, I know this shit sucks, but I'm playing it anyway.
Yeah, like you at least got to be like, I don't know, self-aware.
You have to have some level of self-awareness.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything I do like that. No, I don't really do that with any game. I guess I'm perfect.
Do I do that with anything? I guess I'm like a low-key fraud because I don't watch a whole lot of anime. I can count on my 2 hands how many anime I actually watch. I'm one of those people that does enjoy the anime aesthetic, but also I'm not gonna go around policing people who like are like super into anime or like the target audience for it. I'm not gonna be like, oh, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. I'm just gonna be like, you know what, you do you. If I don't like it, that's whatever. I'll find something else in the medium that I do enjoy. And I think people can't do that. Like I was talking about earlier, people force themselves to enjoy shit. If you like anime, you don't have to like this specific anime because of the aesthetic. If you don't like the shit it does, go find something else that also has
like
an
there's
aesthetic
so many,
shit that appeals to you.
There's so many anime, bro. Like you can just go find a different one if you don't like the one that you're fucking looking at. And as far as I'm concerned, that makes you a way fucking more real fan than anybody on Twitter. You know what I mean? Because
I'm just very picky about what I want to watch and spend my time doing.
That's really and that's fucking fine. That's so totally fine if you don't like pretend that it's about something that it's not.
Right?
Like it's like the other thing I said last week, where maybe anime just isn't the fucking medium for you potentially. Like if you don't like a lot of the weird shit that's in there, that's okay. That's your prerogative. There's so many other like forms of entertainment that you could go take a look at. Like go read a book, go watch a movie.
True. I think more people need to read. I need to start reading more.
Reading is cool, dude. Says the person who only reads fucking games.
I love reading manga and playing visual novels.
Yes, I do. It's literature. I swear to God. It's literature.
Yeah, it's kind of like that with everything. I mean, you see a lot of games nowadays are trying to be the next big thing. Like Genshin, for example, Genshin only blew up because of COVID, and I will stand by that opinion. I don't think Genshin would have gotten anywhere if COVID wasn't a thing. It was at the right place at the right time.
Yeah, everybody had time to grind it.
And now you have people who just can't let go. Even though,
Yeah.
you know, there's a game called Wuthering Waves out there where people are like, you know, I hate all this shit in Genshin. Wuthering Waves has a very cool story. They have very cool traversal systems. You don't fucking run out of stamina. Your stamina is not tied to a fucking meter unless you're in combat, because you have to use your dodges wisely. But if you're out of combat, you can just run forever. You have for the fucking grappling hook, you can fly. Combat's actually pretty fucking fun. I'm not gonna act like it's like the hardest gacha out there, but like there's some skill involved. It's not just mixing the red color with the blue color. It also has very cool characters. The story's engaging as fuck. Like I'm not gonna lie, the first the first like 3 acts of the game are ass, but I think everything else is like engaging minimum. Like, you may not like certain aspects of the story, but I think at the very least it's engaging, and I think that's the best thing you can do if something's bad, is at least have it be engaging. Because I don't really give a shit for gacha stories at all. Like, I will skip that shit because I'm just looking to grind my characters and be done. But
no, definitely. I think
I love Shorekeeper.
Like, engaging gameplay is like pretty much the number one thing that you need to keep people coming back to a gacha, and Genshin doesn't even really like prioritize that.
The only thing I'll give Genshin is that its game balance isn't bad, but it's kind of getting bad. It's starting to get there now with fucking Mavuika.
Yeah. Kalik with the proper mentality. The characters are hot. That's all you need.
That's all you need. That's all you really need. I know there's a new Wua character coming out. I forgot what her name was, but people are like bitching that she's like Gooner bait. I'm like, dude, shut up.
Oh my god.
Also, I'm pretty sure there's like some design philosophy as to why she looks like that. I can't remember why. I can't remember what it is. There was a thread I saw on what her character is based off of, or like her role, and why she looks the way she does. I'm like, yeah. And people are like, you can still criticize it. Like, people don't have to like it. I'm like, you don't have to. No one's saying you have to like it, but like, you guys bitch every time you see big boobs.
Yeah, right. Is that? Which movie? Okay. I'm also looking at this other thing on the side. Not related. Did you know Freerun overtook FMA as the highest rated anime on my anime list?
That's interesting.
That seems wrong.
I think
I could believe
very
good,
that, but
I could believe that happened, but it would make me sad that GOAT would be usurped like that.
Freerun's very, very good, but I don't think it's that good. Like, it's very
yeah, I mean, it's entertaining.
I'm not even. I don't even care for Full Metal Alchemist. You know me. I don't really watch anime, but
that's a good thing to say before we get into our main course tonight, because we found some fucking. Dude, I will sit here and talk about this as long as you want. I could literally go till a 2-hour mark about this. We found some comedy gold.
Let me pull up the tweet here.
Dude, the cops are outside my house. I can hear them blaring the sirens.
They're coming for you. I can hear the sirens. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, they found the hard drive. It finally caught up with me.
No. And the group chat leaked. Caught. Hands up.
Cooked.
All right.
Yeah, so we found this, what the fuck? I actually have to scroll up a little bit in our DMs to find the account. Yeah, the Weeb Crew.
I haven't pulled up on the stream.
Can you read that caption for the people?
The caption says, anime tourists need to learn the difference. And we have a left-wing anime and right-wing anime. And I think this is completely fucking wrong.
Oh, this is
wrong
on a lot of levels. Because in the replies to people who were mad at this guy, the individual in question, they were talking about how, both quote left wing and quote right wing anime can both be good and entertaining, but you should still know the difference, or else you're a tourist. Yeah. So that, first of all, this is also proof that that tourist is also one of those fucking words in the community that has basically lost all meaning, because everybody loves to throw it around at pretty much anybody who like has a take that does not coincide with their own views.
Right.
It's just like, oh, you're a tourist because you don't enjoy the things the way that I do. But I wanted to kind of just pick this apart and go through as many of these shows and movies as we can, and just like talk about why this is bullshit. Okay. Because anime is not inherently political, and people really want it to be.
So let's see. I'm going to read what we see down the middle about this is how they rate shit. It is, some are listed by series, others by individual anime. In some circumstances, we could put multiple anime or the same series together. hold on. Some anime are listed separate despite being in the same series. These are dictated by the views of the political views the anime may have, or
Yeah,
the
I didn't know
creators of
political
anime or
views
said anime.
themselves could have views.
They are trying to sound so formal, but it sounds. I'm having a stroke.
Yeah.
Sexualization of characters, whether they are minors and/or how tasteful the fan service is a factor. Whether the fan base of each anime brings in more liberals or conservatives is a factor. Whether the anime have LGBT traits to them and how they handle it is also a factor. How they handle sensitive topics such as things I can't say on Twitch, self-harm, gender dysphoria, sex, that one fruit, etc. is a factor.
My favorite fruit, delicious.
Not all anime can be added for obvious reasons. I like bananas, by the way.
Nice jump scare.
The voting affiliation for 2016 and 2020 of the creators and fans play a factor in the position. So,
oh my god,
right here,
this gives me AIDS.
we have. Let me see if I can adjust.
I don't even understand some of these points, by the way. Like, how does? Because first of all, the fan base bringing in political or conservatives, or sorry, political conservatives or political liberals. Like, what? How do you even?
I don't know.
Quantify that. Also, that's the fan base.
Okay,
That's got nothing to do with the content.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with the content. But, I think what they're trying to get at is because they're also, if you can tell, whether the fan bases of each anime bring in more liberals. So they're also rating it based on the fan bases. So you can see K-On! Down here. Where is it?
Yeah,
right there. K-On! Right there.
Yeah. I mean, K-On! Fans are definitely mega racist. I'll give you that. But what the fuck does that have to do with the show?
That's what I mean. I think the show itself has nothing to do with being on the right side of the spectrum at all.
It's literally like you said last week. Like it's the weird fucking melding of fan base and IP.
And you know what's even fucking weirder? You have Dragon Maid down here, which yes, there's a little bit of Yuri in there, but the fucking fan base and the fan service, I think that far outweighs the Yuri.
I actually know why it's there, because also in their replies, the OP mentioned that they watch dub only. So it's 100% about that one line in the dub where Lukawa refers to patriarchal societal standards. That was a complete bullshit mistranslation.
Yeah.
So that's definitely what this person is thinking of when they call it left wing, because they watch dub only.
I mean, I guess, but watching dub only is also just like not right.
Yeah, I mean,
like this is a stupid topic to begin with anyway, because you have people who watch the dub exclusively, and then you have the hardcore niggas who, oh shit, I said that. You have the hardcore people. You have the hardcore. I can say the word. You have the hardcore people who you have the hardcore people who watch sub only, and they're more likely, to be an actual like diehard anime fan if they do that.
Yeah.
I think what's the how do you pronounce it? Like Promer? I don't know. I never watched it. I think this is left side because of the fact that it has a femboy in it. I think that's why.
Maybe.
That's exclusively why. Promer?
Okay.
Promare?
We gotta have some structure here, because if we get too fixated on how the logic of this whole thing is inherently flawed, which is pretty much obvious to everybody with a functioning frontal lobe, then we'll be here all night.
I'll go over some of like the extreme examples, like the popular examples.
Yeah. Okay. How about we do it like classroom popcorn reading style? We'll go back and forth between us, and we'll pick a show we want to yap about for a second. You start.
I'm gonna start by actually talking about most Ghibli films. And you know why?
Okay.
Everyone loves Ghibli films.
It's true.
Everyone and their fucking mother is a Ghibli fan. My boss at work is a Ghibli fan.
Yeah. Why do you think they're some of the only movies that get nominated
And
for like best
they
animated
are
feature that are actually good?
beautiful they're beautiful movies, don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
But I can see why somebody would be like, yeah, this is a left wing, like quote unquote left. I don't really give a shit if it's left, right, whatever. I don't give a shit about that. But like, I can see why people would say it's like left leaning anime, because everyone and their mother loves it. Like all the normies love it. I think most anime fans can at least respect Ghibli or have watched the Ghibli movies. And you don't really see many people like bad-mouthing them. You'll see people call one maybe like a little bit boring, but you never see people calling them outright bad.
Right, because that's like the big problem with this in general, is that they're acting like anime is like a genre that just sort of is inherently political.
Right, which I was going to say, like the Ghibli movies themselves, they have nothing to do with anything.
No,
there's nothing that happens in them.
Popular.
They are just beautiful pieces of animation. Nothing happens in the actual fucking movies.
Yeah, it's just they're good, well-structured stories that can be relatable to basically anybody, and that's why like even normies like them. Like I said, that there's a reason why like people joke about best animated feature basically being the Disney/Ghibli category.
Yeah.
You know, like that they're just good. They're not political inherently in any way. They are just good movies, and that's why people like them.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my take on it. I don't like this. Ghibli is a nothing. Like Ghibli should not even be on here. I get why it's on here, because if we're taking account into the fan base, I get it. But if we're talking about the movies themselves, they don't do anything. There's nothing that happens in them.
Yeah, I didn't even know about the fan base. You think a lot of Ghibli fans are lefties?
I think it has enough of a general fan base to, because the big thing is you see all the normies sucking the Ghibli films. And anytime I personally interacted with a Ghibli enjoyer, they're usually on that side, or they're like a part of the LGBTQ, or you know, there's just like a general fan, like, you know what I mean? Like
I guess that's true. Plus, like
everyone, but I don't see many like quote unquote right wing anime fans talking about it.
That's fair. Plus, on average, the majority of people on the modern day internet are more likely to be like a hardcore lefty than anything else, for the most part, just because there's more left-wing people on the internet in general.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see what else we have here. I had to zoom in a little bit. I can do a 2-for-1, because this one I was talking with Vision about in our fucking living room, because I found it so funny. Because there's actually another series that I just noticed they're doing this with, but I'll get to that later. I really, really fucking think it's hilarious how Full Metal Alchemist from 2003, FMA 03, is apparently left-wing, whereas Brotherhood is right-wing. And I don't fucking understand how they could be so possibly, like, different. Even if we're looking at the categories that they represented here, like, FMA doesn't even touch on most of these topics. Like, it's you know, I don't know if you know about the whole thing where the original anime basically turned into fan fiction during the last arc, because you know the manga wasn't finished and the studio needed them to end the show.
Yeah.
So they just started making shit up. And what that resulted in was them doing a different spin, a different interpretation on the core theme of equivalent exchange. You know, that you basically can't get something without sacrificing something in return. Everything that you earn has a sacrifice associated with it.
Okay.
Where, you know, like Brotherhood asserts the notion that equivalent exchange is basically a true concept. There's no such thing as a painless lesson. That's why there's such a famous line from the end. Whereas 03 asserts that equivalent exchange is kind of bullshit. You know, the world is full of injustice. People, you know, don't always get what they want just because they work for it, which is perhaps a more realistic and less optimistic interpretation. But I feel like you're really, really stretching to argue that there's anything political about that with 03. Because I say this as somebody who prefers 03 to Brotherhood. Like, I don't know. Unless you're a commie, like, it's pretty hard to justify that that's any type of political statement, unless you're literally the kind of person who wants to
like, I get the message, but I don't think it has anything to do with, like, you know, like you're saying.
Yeah, right. Like, Dude, I want free shit without working. I'm not a commie.
True, I don't think anybody wants to actually fucking...
It ain't no free shit like free shit, you know?
Right. No, like, we... Let me tell you, at work, we got catered lunch. In my branch, we spent almost $200 fucking on lunch. That's all I will say.
No, your job bougie as fuck. That's crazy.
Working a 9 to 5 has its benefits.
Yeah, right.
No,
Okay, I guess
done,
it's back to you. Do you have another show that caught your eye?
So this is gonna be like a little kernel. This is gonna be a kernel. What the fuck is Love Live doing on the right side?
Dude,
What the fuck is Love Live doing down there? Like fucking polar bear lost in Texas. What are you doing there?
It's definitely another fan base thing. It has to be.
It can't be though, because every Love Live fan is a lesbian.
No, that's not true. That's not true. Not at all. It's like a 50-50 split between like lesbian Yuritards and like hardcore like Magalolicons.
I guess, but listen, Love Live doesn't even really have any lovey characters.
What do you mean,
You don't. Nico's the one character. It may be Ruby, but nobody gives a fuck about Ruby.
Yeah, but they love Nico. You know they love Nico.
I love Nico, but like, I don't know. Like, if we really wanted to play tug of war here, I think the left side of the fan base is a majority of Love Live fans nowadays. Because the only people who play it or engage with Love Live are the people who play the fucking mobile game. And the only people who play the mobile game are the tourists. I hate using the word tourists, but they are the anime tourists who play that game.
Do you think it's got anything to do with like the categorization that he listed?
I mean...
Like, do you think it fits any of those like ideas?
Here's the thing. So,
yeah.
The top category doesn't even matter here. This middle category doesn't even, or the second one doesn't even matter. The third doesn't even matter. I don't know if the creators have said anything about Love Live, but this doesn't matter.
Yeah. Most
Sexualization of characters? Okay, now I can get this because all of the Love Live characters are canonically in high school.
Right.
The fan service isn't really even that bad. Like, you get an occasional boob joke here and there. I think like Nozomi and Nico, like, I think that was where the series was at most, where it was at its most abhorrent, where it was super common. But I don't think like Sunshine or anything like past that has had anything. I guess if we're just taking School Idol Festival into consideration, sure, because I'm only seeing School Idol Festival here, so sure, I'll give them that. I'll give them a point for that. Whether the fan base of each anime brings in more liberals or conservatives is a factor. Okay, so here is the thing. I've met more liberal-leaning Love Live fans than anything. Like, you get the occasional, like hard right-wing, like mega Love Live fan, but I don't think most of the fans are like that. I think most of the fan base just stays in their own little aesthetically pleasing bubble. Like, anytime I see anything Love Live related, it is usually accompanied by the same people I would find that play Genshin Impact. Like, they have the exact same traits. Now, whether the anime have LGBTQ traits to them and how they're handled, here's the thing. With a girls-only cast, that is hard to say because you get a lot of shippers, which no ship is really canon.
Yeah.
However, when you're in an all-female cast, I think most people are just gonna ship the girls together. I don't think the show itself has many LGBTQ traits. However, there is definitely like some that I can see that get perceived as LGBTQ traits, even if they're not. Like, you get like a lot of like nozzle-airy stuff. Kana and is it Mani or Daya? I don't remember. It's one of those two. There's a lot of people who ship Chica and Yu, or Yu and Rico, and Rico and Chica. Like, they are a fucking, they're having a love triangle within the fan base. And then I really don't know anything past Sunshine. I stopped giving a fuck after that. But
that's fair.
I don't know. I don't
Dude,
really
I
think it
didn't
has
realize.
any LGBTQ traits to them, but I mean, if we're talking about the fan base, maybe.
Yeah,
It's so funny because I found out about Love Live 2 sessions.
that's pretty funny.
How many handle stuff? This doesn't even exist in Love Live. Word I can't say, self-harm, gender
Yeah.
dysphoria, sex, that
Yeah,
one
I
fruit,
think
like people don't really
we can pretty
worry
much
about that.
safely, like you said, we can write off like point 0.1, 0.3, 0.5.
All
Like
anime can be added
all
in
that shit
live.
is completely irrelevant because you're doing that weird bullshit melding of like the way that people who like the thing behave is indicative of the thing, which it just
Exactly. That's
isn't.
why I said this whole topic is
Yeah,
stupid, and Love Live
yeah,
shouldn't
right.
even be on here.
No, for real, it doesn't have anything to do with any of this shit.
Now,
I'm
if we wanna get an obvious one out of the way, My Hero Academia. That shit is getting out of the way. No stop. We all know the fan base of that anime. We all know.
yeah,
We all know
that has
was
to be one that's
free.
entirely because of the fan base.
It's
Basically,
entirely because I think the show is way, 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 way more standard. If that makes any sense.
it's your basic shonen tard fodder.
And then if we wanna, because I'm gonna like bounce. I don't even care about My Hero. I just think
Yeah.
I
My
get
Hero
get
sucks.
why
Moving on.
I get why My Hero's there. I'm not even gonna argue that.
Yeah, oh my god, My Hero sucks. The fan base is cringe. We said what we needed to say.
Now let's talk about Konosuba. We'll talk about this one
Yeah.
together
Okay. I'm into that.
because I don't know if you've been seeing on the Muscap lately, but people are having the Konosuba debate again about its fan service.
Yeah, is this in regards to Konosuba 3? Because I have not seen Konosuba
No, not
3.
even. Just Megumin as a fucking character. The way the anime handles fan service, the general
Yeah.
fan base of the game. Konosuba is... It's not right-wing incarnate,
No.
but I get why it's there. Because the fan
Uh-huh.
base is... It's a very polarizing anime. It's very polarizing. You have the typical anime fan service, like big boobs, butt shots, Megumin being a fucking Bali and her sister, and fucking Wiz in her giant fucking titties.
Yeah.
And Darkness as a character as well. I love Darkness. I love La Latina.
Oh god. Shout out Latinas.
True.
I think yeah, it sort of exposes like the flaw in this person's logic with the fan service argument, right? Because the inclusion of shows like we can knock out a couple other ones here, like the inclusion of shows like Konosuba, No Game No Life, Eromanga Sensei.
Oh, Eromanga,
like,
true.
I think that including those shows, you're sort of like pushing the idea that like pro erotic fan service is like a right wing thing versus like anti erotic fan service or quote unquote tasteful, the safe horny is like a left wing thing. But then one of the first things we brought up was Kobayashi, which like that show is plastered with lolly.
It literally is. And people
So like
yeah,
right? So like the writing is on the fucking wall. Like you're just deciding this shit like so arbitrarily.
it's so
Like-
based on the fan base. I think all of it is based on the fan base.
It's gotta be, dude. How
And
much of a
fucking
tourist is this
and then
person?
polar
That's the
bear
real
in
question.
Texas, and an Arctic polar bear in Texas. Love Live for some
For
fucking
real.
reason. Just here. I don't know
I think
why.
I think that this person is the tourist, right? Because they're basically in basing most of these placings based on like Twitter interactions with the fandom.
They are
probably.
because there's just, I think they had an updated tweet. Somewhere.
Yeah, they did actually. They did.
Let me see. They moved Love Live to left. Okay. They moved Konosuba to left. No,
No way.
that's not true. What else is left? They moved. Okay. They moved.
Wait, why did they
moved
flip
K-On!
the FMAs? Why
They
did they
moved
flip
K-On!
them? It doesn't matter.
They moved. They moved My Hero.
Dude, what?
They moved My Hero. Okay, they moved Kobayashi. Okay, fair. They moved JoJo's. What?
Okay.
Where's JoJo?
Dude, I'm trying to. Why can I?
I'm
not
about to have an
find that?
aneurysm. I'm about to have an aneurysm.
I want to be able to look at it better. The new one that they posted. I'm trying to fucking. There it is. There's the update. That's much better to look at. Okay. Yeah, I wish I knew so we could have shut. Yeah, this is. I get it. I get what they're doing here. So this proves that this was rage bait.
Yeah, it was literally rage bait.
I think it's funny because it's the kind of like it's. I'll admit it. It's good rage bait.
It's good rage bait. This is good conversation. This is a good conversation to have.
Yeah, right. Because I remember people posting about that. They were like, so many people falling for this rage bait is like a proof of the irony poisoning thing that we talked about last week. But I think that okay, let's do like a thought experiment. Like we were just talking about the initial post because the initial post I think was like definitely obviously less bait.
Yeah, no, it was less bait. It was definitely less bait.
The second one was like a direct response to people being mad, you know, like just completely flipping it and being like, oh, see, look, now they're opposites. I'm trolling you guys. I think that was partially like a response to the initial post because I guarantee the initial one was like at least semi-genuine.
Yeah, that had to be semi-genuine.
Yeah, so if I pull back up the initial one.
Yeah, let me pull that one back up too. Yeah, I think they just flipped everything to the right, which is funny as fuck.
Yeah,
so
right.
Say I fell for the second bait, but I don't think the first was actually bait at all.
No, I would argue that the first one probably is not.
Especially like they laid out all of the fucking criteria.
Yeah. Did they actually? I think they also like took some shows off of the second one. I see Goblin Slayer on Right Wing in the first one, and I don't see Goblin Slayer at all on the second one.
What is?
I think some shows they also just removed. Oh no, there's Goblin Slayer. Never mind. They literally did flip it like one for one,
which is funny as fuck. But
no, because like some of these takes you could totally like see as being real. Like Shield Hero and Right Wing, I understand how somebody could say that, but it would be a shallow interpretation. I could see why. So the initial post I think was like half bait, and then people started arguing, and then they might have been like, "Ooh, now I can score the bot."
Let me do something funny. Let me come in a funny.
Yeah, right.
No, but yeah, that was a trip and a half. Either way, I'm gonna put it like this.
Yeah,
anime is ass, but it's my ass.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The only other thing I wanted to say real quick, since I literally just shout out a video essay on it, one of the things that the person said in the replies as well, not sure if this one was bait, could have been, but likely not, I think, was about Evangelion, because Evangelion, the series, was in Right Wing, whereas the movie was Left Wing, the end of Eva. And somebody was asking what makes Eva Right Wing in the first place, and bro responded by saying it's a Christian anime.
Oh yeah, I saw
that. Which is like, you know, that take is, I want to call it bait because it's stupid, but
they do that
there are people who will genuinely push that narrative that like it's like a good vehicle for like religion and stuff, where like there's religious themes, but that doesn't mean the show is literally telling you to go
like,
worship
do
God
this or do that. It's not telling you to do anything, and I think that's where people get the wrong idea of anime. Like they think anime is telling you to do one thing or the other, and I'm like, no, there's nuance to it. It's just expressing it is literally just expressing another how do I want to pull it? Art, let's put it like this. Art is a form of expression.
Yeah.
That is all I will put it. That is the best way I can put it. Art is a form of expression. You can express so many different concepts and themes, and there's so much you can do. Whether it decides to do one thing or the other, that's whatever. You know, that's up to interpretation. Yeah, but I don't unless it is flat out like just spewing propaganda about something, someone, or something. Don't think you can like categorize things as being left or right.
No, definitely. I think there are very few anime you could actually like cite as an example of like inherently encouraging like political talking points of any kind, or honestly just like, you know, like popular social topics in general. Like the only thing I can think of off the top of my head is like Galco, because that's actually like a good anime for women. Like it's made for women and their social issues, and it actually like it encourages discussion about that in a country that shies away from it way too often. That's a good example, but it's not even on the thing. So, you know, it's like, okay, but you know, like you said, or like we've both been saying, I guess the whole time, anime is not fucking inherently political in any way. 99% of the time, art is an expression. So most of the time, if the piece expresses themes, it's not telling you how to think, it's encouraging you to think.
Right.
And like start a discussion. It's supposed to be a jumping off point, like we just went on about
I think the problem
for the
too is
whole
that,
like however long.
probably like 20, 30 minutes. But yeah, I mean, people just want a reason to people just want a reason to argue or push their side of the narrative. That's all I will say in regards to like in regards to politics. People want everyone to be one way or the other. I'm like, there's no nuance to anything anymore.
Yeah, people just want to insert the way that they see the world and like fit, you know, the thing that they're engaging with into that box. But that was kind of what we talked about last week. But that was actually fun to tear into. I'm glad we got to do that. I'm glad that ended up being a good idea.
Yeah,
because I know the account that posted it, they are also peddling a podcast. So
are they? Interesting.
Maybe I'll have to go check them out and see if they're cringer based. I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's a rage bait profile from what I'm seeing.
I would want the podcast to be real because that would be funny.
Well, I think the podcast might be real. I think the profile itself might be
Right.
No, but was there anything you wanted to say, or do you think that's a good capping off?
I don't think so. I had one more note about about NTR because that was like, I literally saw multiple threads on the topic throughout the week. It's gotta just be the side of social media that I'm on specifically.
Uh-huh.
But I'm gonna be honest, you know, in terms of potential topics that I thought up, you know, not super proud of that one. Not the most not the most in-depth discussion that I think can be encouraged, unfortunately.
Fair enough.
That'll go at the bottom of the barrel. We'll scrape that one out when we really can't think of anything.
Well, all right. Well, I think the last thing I want to segue things off with, I think we're gonna have a consistent podcast schedule. So if you want to watch it live, we are going to be going live on Monday evenings, more than likely every week. If you want to watch the VODs, you can actually find them on Lanny's channel. It is Lanny VA on YouTube. And if you want the it's Lanny VA 5310.
Oh my god! I got the Nanodyne plug.
And then if you want to follow Lanny on Twitter, it is going to be at Lenny_VA. Currently, I am not super duper public with my Twitter and my YouTube. But if you do want to find me on YouTube, my @ is just @Nanodyne, pretty much the same spelling here. I plan on uploading more stuff to the channel at some point. Maybe I will, I don't know, get back into streaming games or doing whatever the fuck, who knows. But it's been fun. I really am enjoying just
we gotta stick with this. This has been super fun. Yeah, I think we can definitely stick to Mondays, and if you're down, if it works for you, we can probably stick to this time slot as well, because that should
this is a perfect time slot because I get off work. I work a 9 to 5, so by the time I'm at work, this is when I like settle down and get everything started. So I know it's perfect time slot.
Because I got home in the morning, so I had a meal, crushed a nap, and I might take another nap after this. We'll see.
Napper, because you have your uni bracket soon.
Yeah, I got to do that, and then I'm working my last shift before I get my days off finally. Copium.
Well,
I just have to make it through this week, chat.
I just gotta make it through this week. I just gotta make it through this week. Next week happens.
No.
Alright. Well, yeah, I'm gonna end that off there. If you want to follow me on YouTube, it is @Nanodyne. And then if you want to follow Lanny for any of their content or the VODs or the podcast, it's gonna be also Lanny VA on YouTube. If you want to follow him on Twitter, it is going to be @Lanny, or follow them on Twitter, it's going to be @LannyV_VA. Other than that, no more plugs. I'm going to end the stream. This is going to be the end one. So I hope you all have a good night, or good morning, or good whatever, wherever you're watching.
Have a good whatever time it is.
We're inclusive here.